Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. Today we have the big honor and pleasure to welcome Brian, the co-founder of Altra, here in Munich at the Altra event. Brian, welcome on the channel. How are you first?
I'm doing great, Love traveling around Europe, just got back from UTMB, so I'm a little tired, but still just pumped up from our performance there and happy to talk about our footwear.
Awesome. Brian, let's jump right into it. Europe first. You mentioned that you are growing very fast in Europe. Why is it such an important market for you?
The European economy is great, but also, all these countries here, and they have a long passion and history of running, particularly trail running in a lot of areas, and that's where a lot of our strengths are too. So we're excited to really showcase our trail product and then also really grow in the road market as well. So Europe is a big focus of ours. It is our fastest growing portion of the world right now. And so we're putting a lot of emphasis here and super excited about the growth we're seeing in Europe.
I think, the naming of the product speaks for itself. You went for Mont Blanc for these two shoes, which is one of the highest EU mountain.
Yep.
What's the next name you will pick? Because you had until now US mountains as names. So what's the next one?
Well, look, I picked Olympus and Lone Peak, Superior. I picked all those, so now I let other people deal with those problems. So I don't have any more names.
Which one would you like to have?
What would I like to have?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get it, but I love Alaska, and the biggest mountain in Alaska is named Denali, and I almost named my dog Denali because I love that name. So if we could get a shoe named Denali, that would be awesome. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Okay,
but.
so for the speculation out there, Denali could be. You mentioned during the presentation part that when you first put a shoe in a microwave oven, a toaster, there were stuff holding back the industry, right? There were some boundaries that were holding back the industry, and you decided to go beyond those boundaries, to go beyond the limits of the industry. Do you feel like today the running industry still has some limits? And if yes, which are these?
Well, first of all, yeah, it was a toaster oven. Okay.
Toaster oven.
Yeah, so, my partners and I, as we were experimenting, particularly Golden did a lot of that, it was fun to break those boundaries. And so now, I don't know where the boundaries are. I think that now that some of these brands like Altra and some of these newer brands as well that have come in the industry, I think we're going to find out where the ceiling is. And hopefully we're not close. I really think that there is a lot more expansion, a lot more innovation to come. Sometimes those first innovations, right, where 15 years ago, drop wasn't even a word, right? And everybody was the same engineering. We're going to see where the limits are going to go. I think we've got a lot more to play with in the coming years in terms of innovation and exploration of the limits of footwear.
Looking forward to it. Let's look a bit at what you brought here. We have here the Mont Blanc BOA in a colorway that we release next week, I think in the EU.
Yep.
It's a great looking colorway, first of all. And speaking of innovation, you went with the BOA dials, which is the first time for you, and it's not something we see a lot in the industry.
Yeah, I think we're the second or third shoe to do this. And so for us, it really tells that foot-shaped story of ours, right? You can lock that heel down, and some people want to secure that toe box. Some people, like myself, like it a little bit roomier. And I think with the BOA system, you can customize it, and it fits so well. It hugs the heel back, customizes the fit, super cool look, and I'm really excited about this.
But you told me that you're a Lone Peak guy, and
typically, yeah.
And yet you tested this one, and so why are you still leaning towards the Lone Peak? And are you gonna rock these sometime soon on like an Ultra of yours?
I could see myself rocking these in an Ultra, yeah, for sure. But the Lone Peak is there's kind of emotional attachment to the Lone Peaks. It's my shoe. It's something I've tested every version, but. This might get me out of my Lone Peak shell. I really like the BOA.
Says a lot. Yeah. Let's transition to the road, and you're more of a trail guy, but here we have something coming up really, really soon, October, November maybe. It's the Via Olympus.
Yes.
And this, if the audience takes a closer look, is different because of the rocker shape, the bevel in the heel, and also the stack height. It's much higher than what we're used to from Altra. Can you give us a few thoughts about the design process and how you see this shoe working for Altra fans?
Well, first of all, the Lone Peak is our #1 selling shoe, but in Europe, actually, the Olympus outsells the Lone Peak a little bit. Okay. So I think here in Europe, the Via Olympus is particularly enticing. But, we've seen a lot of those stack heights go up, and this shoe really still is shockingly light and surprisingly flexible for the stack height. We have added a little bit more rocker, so you're going to be able to really go fast in this shoe. But it's cushion and protective at the same time. So I think it speaks to the Altra DNA of being, balanced and being foot-shaped, but now you're able to add just that much more cushion, and we're really able to play off of the success that we've had in the Olympus on the trail.
Speaking just quickly about performance, because this is your main word, performance, are we going to see some spikes from Altra down the road for maybe 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, or is this something that you don't want to tackle at all?
You know, we dabbled in a little bit of cross-country product a few years ago, and I think we weren't quite the size enough yet to go there. And so for the near future, nope, you're not going to see spikes. I think in our long-term planning, there's absolutely going to be there, but I don't think it's going to come anytime soon. We are still really focused on the trail and the road, and we're just hesitant right now to enter the track. So yet to be determined.
Very clear. Are you ready for some rapid-fire questions?
Oh, let's do it. Shoot away.
Okay. So it's either or, okay?
Okay.
Trail or road?
Oh, trail for me.
Plated, non-plated?
That depends on the conditions. I like the options, you know. In some terrain, I'm going to go plated. Some terrain and distances, I won't.
Okay, so option first, and then you decide. Cool. This one is tricky, and it comes from the audience. Zero drop or drop?
Oh, zero drop.
Good. Brian?
Natural, which is zero
and balanced.
Drop. And balanced, that's right.
Okay. Brian, thank you so much for taking the time, being here with us on the channel. I think the audience will really appreciate this moment with you. We hope to see you soon, and in the meantime, enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and go beyond your limits with an Altra shoe.